Welcome to this video. I'm going to be doing a Raiden cosplay. This is going to be Raiden from Metal Gear, not the Mortal Kombat Raiden. On the subject of Raiden, I'm going to be doing his Metal Gear Rising Revengeance skin. Just the generic one. You guys can join me for the ride. We'll see where this journey takes us. Hopefully it doesn't lead to a pile of trash at the end. I plan on adding red LEDs at the end of this for a Jack the Ripper effect. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. We'll see if we have enough time. So I'm starting earlier than usual to balance it out with school as well. School's like my #1 priority right now because, you know, I'm paying $8 grand a year. Oh well, it's gonna be worth it in the end. Both things, school and this cosplay. I'm also, I don't know if I want his face shield to move. I'm still trying to decide that, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, let's go. You'll need some references to look at. I like to look at gameplay videos. I just pause the screen, take screenshots of every single angle I possibly can. But besides that, we'll get into the materials. So I'm going to be using some thin, large pieces of paper. This is what my friend gave me. She used it as a gift bag tissue. You can also use newspaper. There are a lot of ads on there. You might want to use a darker or thicker marker. I like to go over the lines I'm cutting with a highlighter or a marker just because sometimes I've accidentally cut over lines that weren't meant to be cut. I like to use measuring tape to figure out how big I want the first couple pieces. It's going to serve as a baseline for the rest of the cosplay. I don't really look at the numbers. I usually just eyeball it. Coffee. So I cut out the 3 pieces I'm going to use as my baseline, and I've labeled them as well. I've also put a little arrow at the top of each of my pieces to show where my head is pointing at, just so I'm not accidentally placing something like this when it should actually be like that. And then here I've labeled it as the pec, and then R stands for the right side, B would be below, that one's above, and then T would be top because he has 3 layers of bits and pieces that are going to be underneath all of these. I thought the sternum was pretty standard, so I didn't label that. I'm just gonna clean that up and add the angles. Okay, so this is what I have so far. It's loosely laid out, and I put a little bit of tape underneath so I could play around with it and just carefully remove them. I'm not sure how this happened. I kind of just made it. I tried to make a pattern for it initially and it didn't work out. I'm not sure if I'm keeping it because I really hate the back. The back is just hideous, so I might restart that and might completely redo this, or I will just fix up this here and put in a new one. Depends how much time I have throughout the school year. But so this is what I did for the insides. So I stuck with the tip of my hot glue gun to give me the shape I wanted for the folds. Plus you can always like squeeze in a little bit of hot glue to give it that extra hold. And when you do squeeze in hot glue, it kind of pinches it in. So for example, right there has hot glue, but right there doesn't. That's just heat. Just an FYI. When I look closer on his shoulder pads, they weren't quite curved. They were more folded in like that, which was lucky because that just helps give it the concave shape you need anyways. Okay, here's the thing. I did not have the right size of EVA foam, so I kind of like stuck 2 pieces together, and for the little shark fin things here, and it looks awful, but you know what? We'll cover it up with paint. Hopefully it'll look good in the end. It's kind of flimsy right now, but I have a neat little trick that'll help make this sturdier once I put touch-ups and finalize the shape of it. I'm not sure I'm doing it, so we'll see. This is just like a blabber, but I also made a few extra pieces for the next the other shoulder pad. This is kind of the shape I used for these sides here. This is going to be folded in along those lines. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm keeping this because I don't like it, but I do like it. We'll see. We'll see what the other one turns into. Okay, so it can't just be me, but I find that the further I progress into each cosplay, the further my love for that character grows. And it's not just this cosplay here. No, 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 no. It's like about every single one I've done over a character that I have initially loved and decided I wanted it to be. I would be thinking, oh my god, this is the max capacity of love I can have for someone. But no, maybe I'm just like a really emotional person, I don't know. But it's happening, it's starting, it's happening with Raiden. I'm less than 5% into the cosplay. There aren't enough conventions each year in my area for me to be able to wear this cosplay enough to satisfy me. So I'm probably just gonna be dressing up as him around in my house, but what can you do? Sometimes you just gotta be a cyborg.